Vampires. A vampire is a human being who has died and been resurrected by certain supernatural means and endowed with certain superhuman abilities. Vampires were first created about 15,000 years ago, when a small band of pre-cataclysmic Atlantean sorcerers discovered the Darkhold, a parchment of arcane knowledge scribed by the demon Thon, and used one of the spells contained therein to cause their enemies to return from the dead as demonic, bloodlusting, bat-like creatures. The vampires were more powerful than the sorcerers predicted. Slaying their creators, they escaped from Atlantis before the small continent sank. A vampire possesses from 3 to 5 times the strength he or she possessed while living, can change into a bat, can control certain wild beasts like rats and dogs, can transform into mist, and can hypnotize most human beings. A vampire is vulnerable to the direct rays of the sun, the metal silver, garlic, and conventional religious objects wielded by a believer in their power. A vampire can be killed by a wooden stake through the heart, but it is necessary to sever the head, stuff its mouth with garlic, and burn the head and body in 2 separate places to ensure that the vampire cannot be mystically resurrected. All the vampires on Earth were recently eradicated using a spell found in the Darkhold called the Montesi Formula, after the monk who first realized what it was. Earth's Sorcerer Supreme, Dr. Strange, and a small band of aides located and performed the spell, despite the efforts of Vlad Dracula, Lord of the Vampires, to prevent them. With the spell in effect, no vampire can be created without it immediately turning to dust. The destruction of all vampires occurred in Doctor Strange number 62. Names of representatives: Varney, Atlantean sorcerer, introduced in Bizarre Adventures number 33. Vlad Dracula, Transylvanian nobleman, introduced in Tomb of Dracula number 1. Lucas Brand, motorcycle gang leader, introduced in Tomb of Dracula number 9. Hannibal King, private investigator, introduced in Tomb of Dracula number 25. Adri Nital, son of Taj Nital, introduced in Tomb of Dracula number 28. Deacon Frost, chemist, introduced in Tomb of Dracula number 13. Turok, Turkish general, introduced in Dracula Lives number 2. Edith Harker, drugstore clerk, introduced in Tomb of Dracula number 7. Nimrod the First, soldier, introduced in Dracula Lives number 3. Leanda, gypsy, introduced in Dracula Lives number 2. Harold H. Harold, writer, TV producer, introduced in Tomb of Dracula number 37. Rachel Van Helsing, vampire hunter, introduced in Tomb of Dracula number 9. Bessie, alias Hell Cow, farm animal, introduced in Giant Size Man Thing number 5. Lucy Westerna, aristocrat, introduced in Tomb of Dracula number 7. John Falsworth, alias Baron Blood, British nobleman, introduced in Invaders number 7. Lilith, daughter of Dracula, introduced in Giant Size Chillers number 1.